Hello traders, welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 306. Buckle up because a brand new month just opened. We're gonna have a look at the monthly candles as well, draw a very nice top-down analysis, and of course have a little bit of a forecast for all the pairs that we're looking at. So without further ado, let's have a look at the economic calendar and then jump into the technicals. So, a lot of things have been developing pretty much within the past week. Trump is traveling across the world, mainly Asia. He made a Trump with President Xi. He made deals with Japan, with Korea, with anything. And this is bringing a lot of positivity for the dollar as well. But most importantly, we had the Fed rate last week and they cut the rate by 25 basis points, which is, of course, as expected. But the main big thing was actually the press conference where Powell was pretty much saying that a cut in December is not so sure, and that is immediately pretty much bullish for the dollar because high interest rate fundamentally for a currency means it should be bullish. Okay, so if that rate is actually kept instead of cut, okay, this means that the economy is doing all right, inflation is being tamed as well, and the market can potentially accelerate on the dollar. So this is kind of what has been happening, and with that also gold started declining. We're having EU and G also starting to decline a lot. So this is currently the overall market sentiment. Even though the government is shut down, we're still getting a lot of moves because of Mr. Trump, of course, right? So we're having daylight savings time, which is great because that week was a little bit funky, especially with futures. They're opening like 1 hour earlier for me because I'm in Europe. Monday, we're having a manufacturing PMI and prices here, so that is going to get released because a fellow fanatic in the comments told me that these kind of news are actually released by S&P Global, which is a company that also does these kind of things. Okay, so they haven't shut down. Then we have on Tuesday, we have a cash rate here for the Aussie. So if you're trading Aussie dollar, watch out for that. Lagarde is speaking here for the euro. Job openings tentative, that's probably not going to get released, and some NZD news as well. Wednesday, we have the ADP non-farm employment change. So this is the preliminary NFP. That is kind of what gets released before the real thing, and it seems like it's going to get released. And also the services PMI. So we're having some USD news. We're having the manufacturing and the services PMI together with this employment change. These are scheduled, so very likely they're gonna get released. On Thursday, we're having a very big GBP day. So if you're trading the pound, watch out for that, especially for the speech, okay, and the press conference. Unemployment claims tentative, so not really gonna come out very likely. And then of course it's an NFP week, but no NFP, I guess. Did the previous one actually got released? I actually don't think so. We can definitely kind of try to check it out, but I think the last one was released in September, so the October one we're not getting yet, and I guess the November one we're also not gonna get because the government has to shut down. So currently it is very important to monitor your news outlets to see, of course, for development between US China. All the headlines are, of course, for the AI stocks right now that are driving like crazy, but of course, let's jump into the charts and have a look at what we're gonna be trading. Fanatics, I spent 1.5 months putting together the Fanatic Bootcamp that is designed to help you exit the break-even stage with just 2 simple tools and 6 hours of content. Now, if you have been loving how I analyze the market in the weekly outlook, if you have been loving how I trade and how I think about the market, this is really going to show you everything that I do for an extremely small price. So we're going to be working on your mindset first, fixing your mindset, your limiting beliefs, and exiting your emotional cycles. Then I'm going to be giving you the 2 tools that I use, only 2 tools, so you're going to actually know what I'm doing in these weekly outlooks. And then of course, I'm going to give you the process and the mechanics for it so you can actually build it into a trading plan. So if you're interested, first link in the description, click on it, and I'm going to see you on the other side. Alright, as always, we're gonna get started with a DXY. Now, I'm on the monthly time frame, and the first thing that I always look at the monthly time frame is what I call candle anatomy. So pretty much reading what the candlestick is showing me. So this month of October, it is showing me a very nice bullish candle closing above the previous monthly high, also creating that morning star formation, which a lot of you are familiar with. And also this is coming from a sweep here of this monthly swing point. Okay, so what does that immediately tells me is that my target is immediately going to be this high right here at around 100 to 50. Okay, And then if the market decides to even continue going a little bit higher, then this monthly bearish imbalance is going to be also a potential area to react from. We also do have, for example, this resistance area, this massive buy to sell. That is your kind of your order block that the market can potentially stop by. So, and then you have the EMA. So this whole area here is going to be a pretty heavy resistance area. But of course, if the fundamentals allow it, and if the dollar actually continues with that bullish push, we can potentially be looking for these liquidity targets. Now, of course, the closest one is that high. I think this is a very logical liquidity target. This is definitely kind of a high expectation that I have, because we're getting pretty close to it, and there is nothing to stop price really getting there. Now, weekly time frame, it was honestly a little bit choppy. So what we had is the first week of October was really volatile, and then we had 2 weeks of inside bars, right? So this week was an inside bar of the previous one, and this week was an inside bar of the previous one. And then this week, pretty much after the Fed meeting, this is when we're having the breakout. We are closing above here, this swing point, which again also gives me more of a bullish bias on the DXY. Dropping onto the daily time frame, it's starting to look even cleaner. If you just zoom out a little bit, we look at the macro market structure. We're seeing higher lows are being formed in the market. We broke above. This is the 50 EMA, by the way, so you can plot on your charts. You can look to see how very nicely it's actually always acting as a very nice dynamic support and resistance. And here we kind of broke and retested for a potential higher low formation, and right now we are pushing higher. Now, when it comes to momentum and imbalances, we also do have momentum and imbalances in the market. We have a daily bullish imbalance that was created on Friday. So that is going to be a very nice pullback area potentially to look for longs. And if I have a look to the left, right, there is nothing to stop the market right now. There is no unretested imbalance. There is no swing point, nothing. So I can make my way onto the forward time frame to try to see if there is something, but no. The only thing we had was this very big forward imbalance, but this one, I bet, yeah. So this is where the market came in right there to throw that massive reaction lower. So after this guy is taken, there is nothing to stop the market until that high. Maybe you can drop that supply candle here, this order block, but I don't really do these too much. So currently, really zooming into the most recent price action, we also have a forward bullish zone. So my overall outlook is going to be pretty clear, okay? When you have 2 zones, it's kind of a domino effect. So again, no expectations, no analysis. We do not know what is going to happen. Maybe something happens in the weekend and the market gaps down here, okay? So don't have too many expectations, but if the market's gonna go higher, which is my overall bias, we can pull back into that forward zone. And of course, give us a long. The first low hanging fruit is going to be this high, of course, and then the next high above us here. Now, this one, there is a lot of space towards that high. So of course, we can be looking for new zones to form and to potentially continue going higher. So I can even kind of try to drop that one like this. And of course, the second scenario will be if that forwardly bullish imbalance gives us signs of failures, and even, for example, you get the 1 hourly bearish imbalance, then that can potentially guide us into the daily, okay? And then what is going to happen from the daily? Again, always scenarios. Is the market going to give us the bullish model to then attack the liquidity, or is the market going to react, break, and then of course we can be looking for example, for the next reaction area. That is going to be right here. So you can see I am prepared with all of my zones. I'm kind of prepared for all of my outcomes, but again, I don't know, and nobody knows what is going to happen. So of course, we have to think always in terms of scenarios, have our levels, and then just show up in the market to see what it wants to do. But of course, to conclude, I am bullish on the dollar. The current sentiment, the current momentum is bullish, so I am definitely preferring longs, okay? First zone to long is going to be that forward zone, okay? And if that forward zone fails, then I'm going to be looking for a pullback into the daily, and then of course for the market to shift bullish and then again attack the liquidity. So that is the DXY, bullish bias overall. Let's see how the other pairs are potentially supporting that. EURUSD as well, pretty much very similar to the DXY. After a very massive run to the upside, we came in to sweep that monthly high, and we're not making monthly imbalances. This candle actually closed as an indecision, and then this monthly candle closes as a very nice bearish engulfing candle. Also, that's evening star formation here, and of course, my first kind of more macro target is going to be this monthly liquidity point, and then I mean all the way down this kind of monthly imbalance. I feel like this one is way too far away, so I usually don't look that much into the future, so I'm going to be focusing more on the low-hanging fruits and where the market can go pretty much within the current trading kind of range. Okay, now you can see like the overall price action right here was really chopped up. Okay, this is on the weekly time frame. Of course, does that mean we're not getting opportunities on the lower time frames? Absolutely not. It keeps providing. This week was actually great. We're having a very nice flush, attacking this liquidity level, already taking it. So yeah, nothing on the weekly, very nicely bearish, no kind of clear levels to target. So what we did on Friday is we just took this liquidity level here, okay? Oh, we actually even took that one. This is the only kind of low here that the market can potentially react from, and then it can flush towards this low here. So again, if you look at the overall daily time frame, we are making an overall downtrend. You can see again the macro lower highs and lower lows. This is really good. The market came into kind of the average price, which for me is the 50 EMA, kind of reacted, support last time, then broke below, retest. These are some very good kind of macro short opportunities as well. And right now, the current positioning of price is not amazing, not gonna lie. It just made a massive lower low. It took the only two liquidity points that we have within this overall range. So can we expect a pullback? Sure. We also don't have a, well, we kind of do, but do we have an imbalance here? God damn, we have it, but it's extremely minuscule. I'm not even gonna draw it. Okay, so can we expect some sort of a pullback? Sure. All right. Then we drop to the hourly time frame, and here this is an imbalance that I was actually looking to trade from, but the market did not pull back into it, and it just kind of very nicely kept dropping. We have this hourly bearish imbalance, very similar to the DXY. Okay. I'm overall bearish bias, of course. If we pull back into that hourly zone, I will be looking for shorts and then, of course, targeting recent liquidity points. So that is going to be a liquidity point. Now, if I go all the way here to the left, like you're going to once again see that there is nothing really. Like there is nothing to stop price. This low also taken, nothing. So this is why I kind of feel like if that selling pressure remains and if that overall sentiment remains, we can very easily run towards like 1.14. So let's see if that, of course, is going to play out. But you can even see on the hourly time frame really nicely from the beginning of this week, we kind of made that lower low here. We were oscillating around the EMA, so a little bit of a consolidation here, okay? But then it broke below it, lower low. So right now we are confirming the market shift. So high, low, lower, high, lower, low. Beautiful short here, lower low, beautiful short here, lower low. Okay, so let's see if we're going to continue with that. Now, of course, if that hourly zone fails, then that can potentially bring the market towards some liquidity, which is going to be this case. And exactly this level right here, okay, that is going to be your daily imbalance open on the DXY. So you can pair both of them, or maybe it can pull back here into that hourly zone. Okay, so that is EU. And then, of course, from there, are we going to kind of flush lower? Are we going to continue like going a little bit higher? We don't know. But I am sell biased. These are kind of the only zones that currently we can work with. There are no daily zones. We only have this very recent zone that the market can definitely pull back into and continue flushing. But if, of course, we don't do that damage on Monday and the market starts giving us bigger pullback, because it's also, by the way, the monthly candle open. And maybe the monthly candle might want to pull back a little bit to create a wick before it flushes. So it would make a lot of sense, for example, for Monday and Tuesday to make a little bit of a pullback. But of course, we don't know. So that is EU. Definitely bearish bias. I will be looking for pullbacks into these levels and then potentially a nice macro short. So let's see, of course, if that's gonna pan out. Well, GU has been actually a lot weaker than Euro. So if you have been kind of trading these Forex pairs, GU has been performing a lot better. You can see already on GU, we are taking that monthly low. And you can see also on GU, we did not sweep the monthly high. So definitely weaker in both of these things. Now, the problem with GU right now on the monthly time frame is that we're tapping into that monthly bullish imbalance. Okay, so we just took a swing point and we're also tapping into a monthly bullish imbalance. This is a lot of support, and we just did that pretty much at the closure of that week, and we're also kind of encountering the weekly EMA, which can definitely offer some support as well. So it is not the most ideal positioning right now to be pushing for further shorts. Now, if you did take your shorts here, lower high, beautiful, another lower high here, absolutely amazing. Currently, I feel like we might want to create a little bit of a deeper pullback. Now, unlike EU, you can see GU again is a lot weaker. It has two daily bearish imbalances. EU, nothing, okay, on the daily. So very weak, and yeah, I would definitely love to see pullbacks into these daily zones here for the market to pull back into a little bit of a fair value, potentially pull us back into the EMA here on the 4-hourly time frame as well. And what is also interesting here is that unlike EU and unlike the DXY, for example, this one doesn't have that 4-hourly bearish imbalance for me to right now say, okay, we can potentially go lower. It doesn't have it. I mean, okay, it has this little guy right there. Okay, so that is an imbalance, but when the market comes extremely strongly into that imbalance, and again, it just keeps taking liquidity, right? Monthly bullish imbalance, monthly swing point, 4-hourly and daily liquidity. I really think that we can potentially pull back. Again, it's not what I think, but even I, for example, a lot of times throw expectations onto the market because, for example, in this case, based on my edge, this is going to be a bad positioning to be looking to short this market. It's at a massive macro lower low. If you're like zoomed in and you say, okay, like if you're like this zoomed in and say, okay, oh wow, lower high, we can potentially continue. But if you just zoom out a little bit, like look at where we are. We are at a massive, like it's like trying to short down there, okay, or trying to short down there. We're made a massive drop into support, into liquidity. So that kind of makes me think we might want to make a little bit of a deeper pullback. Now, how is this gonna look like? Well, I'm sorry everybody, but I have no idea. So is it going to invalidate here, tap here, come all the way into the daily, and then from there reverse? I don't know. Is it just going to, for example, come and sweep a little bit of liquidity from here and then maybe reverse lower? I don't know. Okay, so now I am overall bullish on the DXY, which means I should be bearish on GU, and I'm definitely bearish on GU based on what has been happening recently. However, I would like to see a pullback. Okay, because again, like you can see, for example, here we dropped very nicely for 3 days, and then we kind of made that pullback into the EMA. Here again, we dropped pullback. Okay, this is what I want to see. Drop here, pretty big pullback as well. So right now we drop, little pullback, massive drop again. I do believe we can be getting around the pullback somewhere around here. Okay, so that is on GU. I would say immediately not a very big fan of shorting it like the first thing on Monday. Can it go short? Absolutely. But I feel like we might get a little bit of a deeper pullback. But of course, hey, if the market opens up and starts flushing, well, I'm going to be the first one to short because it's a pretty short market. Okay, so that is GU. I mean, we can also here, what makes a lot of sense is to wait for a weekly bearish imbalance, by the way. Okay, so I'm just going to put that in there. Weekly imbalance, okay, because this is a candle 2 very massive expansion. It is very, very, very likely that the market can create a weekly bearish imbalance, and if that is created, then that is going to create like a whole, for example, a couple of days for the market pulling back, and then potentially next week taps into that weekly, and then we get a very good macro positioning to short the market very nicely. Okay, so let's see how that's gonna pay out. Of course, bearish bias on GU, but not great positioning. Let's check out Aussie dollar. Haven't really traded that pair in an extremely long time, and I don't plan to, but a very nice support here from the monthly EMA. You can see tapped here, tapped here, tapped here as well. Very nice support level paired with a sweep of a monthly swing point. And again, similar to the rest of the kind of the pairs that I did, we come in from a sweep, monthly EMA, this low to me is going to be potentially nice. However, what we see is that the monthly candle is not very weak. Okay, it's actually sweeping the previous monthly high and giving us a very strong rejection. Now that to me is not a great sign. Okay, so we gapped. Is this candle? Yeah, this is this week. So crazy gap up here. Okay, so let's see. The weekly time frame is strange. We have this weekly liquidity. We chopped for 2 weeks, and then this week we gap, massively push up, and then massively reject. Is this legit? Yeah, it looks legit. FXCM. Okay. All right, this is giving me trouble. I haven't checked this chart in a while, and I'm like, whoa, what's happening? So we massively gapped up into the weekly imbalance, and right now it kind of looks like it's responding from it, but we do have, I mean, this is kind of a gap, and also this is a daily imbalance. Okay, so we're also breaking above the daily EMA, retesting it from the other side. Weekly is bearish, daily is a little bit bullish, but it's not giving me a lot of follow-through signs to the upside. So right now, this one is in a extremely tricky kind of transition area here. What is it going to do? Now from the top, we already see that the bearish order flow is starting to kick in. We had hourly bearish imbalance, very nicely respected. And then from there, we follow through with another one, also respected. And right here, we have an extremely small one, also kind of looking like it's rejecting. It is just trying to kind of break and retest the EMA as well. We have this gap to fill as well. So let me just expand that a little bit. This is a gap as well. Okay, so Aussie dollar, if you ask me, like this pair has been really shit for a very long time. I haven't really touched it, but I think like EU, GU are definitely better in this case. This guy is really not giving me a good feeling. Like weekly is bearish with that crazy gap up. Daily then created these bullish zones. Then the 40 time frame is going bearish. In order for me to short this, okay, I will need to see it do something like that, and I would like to short it down there. Okay, and then for example, when you truly start seeing that the order flow is bearish and that the trend is starting to get bearish, all of these amazing lows are going to become your liquidity. So let's see, this one is in a very big transition area. It's giving us the first signs that it actually wants to break below. Okay, but it's very, very compressed right now. So let's see. Okay, I would say, of course, I'm more bearish than bullish, of course, just judging by the DXY, but Aussie dollar right now, give it a little bit of time. Truly wait to see like for a break of structure below that low. Wait to see this daily gap also react, fail. Maybe even from here you can be looking for some sort of a short trade, but wait to see the sellers kick in. Because if it starts doing something like that right there, yeah, you don't want to trade it, because then are you long into these folly? I mean, these zones are taken already, so they don't exist. But yeah, if you do get the longs, for example, you can definitely even look for the highs, because the Aussie and the NZD are commodity-based currencies. Okay, so they kind of react a little bit more to gold, let's say. So yeah, tricky ones. But that is Aussie dollar. I personally don't like it. I wouldn't trade it if I was looking to trade it. NZD dollar on the monthly time frame. So an overall bearish monthly candle. We're having a break below the previous monthly low. I mean, that's good. Can I say that this is gonna go? No, this is way, way, way too far away, so I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to drop to the weekly time frame. Let's see what is happening. We're having a weekly bearish imbalance, which is really good. We came here this previous week. We came in, reacted, and then this week we also gapped up. But unlike Aussie dollar, which was a pretty strange candle, this, you can see like Aussie dollar is making higher lows, okay? NZD dollar is making lower lows, okay? So if you want to trade something, then it better be shorts on NZD USD, okay? This immediately becomes liquidity right here. The market is in a good position, pulls back into the weekly. I bet it pulled back into the daily. No, so this one doesn't seem like it's pulling back into the daily. Not every pair like respects the EMAs that well. Extremely choppy price action here. Wick, and boom, 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 wick. And then 3 days of bearishness with a daily bearish imbalance. Now that definitely doesn't look that bad. Liquidity number one right there, and then all the way here. Okay, so I like the shorts. I like the shorts more. Yeah, definitely like the shorts here. We have already bearish here. Now again, the key question is, this is very similar to EU, for example. Where is it gonna go short from? Is it going to pull back into the folly or into the daily, maybe both, and the EMA, and then from here get the shorts, target the liquidity? Or is it going to just from here impulse lower and again attack the liquidity? So yeah, I do like it. All of this here is very flat, so that can definitely become liquidity. And you can see very fast expansions just attacking like all the liquidity. So right now, like we have this, and this taken, and then of course we have that one, this one, and then this one to go. So you can expect, like, if this is gonna go bearish, it can potentially go bearish fast, because there is nothing to stop it right there. Okay, so that is NZD dollar bearish. Now if you're looking to trade some of these Asian currencies like Aussie dollar and NZD dollar is a lot better than the Aussie. So let's see if it's gonna pull back here and give us a short. All right, let's have a look at Mr. Gold. Now, many of you might not know, but I have been trading gold only actually for the last, I think, 3 months. Really getting used to it. This month I didn't perform as well. I'm actually profitable, but I only took like a win and a break even. Very little trades. I did miss quite a few. And also, what is the very big change on gold is that it just started moving during Asia. Like every single morning I wake up and Asia has already done the move, and then suddenly London is also going to be making a move, and I pretty much made my plan to be trading only in New York, and I just didn't get any setups at all. There was a setup very nice this Monday, but I missed it because I was traveling. So Not very happy. We'll be looking to potentially make some adaptations, or I'm just gonna keep it up to see how I'm gonna finish the year and if my experiment of trading gold only is going to be successful. But monthly candle here, we are getting a very nice rejection, and we also have, for example, right now a monthly bullish imbalance below us. Now, can we go there? We definitely could. Okay, like I think 3,800 here is a pretty nice level to potentially get pulled back into. Now, the market is starting to pull back into all of these weekly imbalances, so we tapped that one, and then it just kissed that one, I believe. Yep, just kissed it. So I'm going to remove this one and keep that one. 2 weeks of bearishness. Okay, so that is really nice. We dipped around 10%. So if that was a stock, I would absolutely buy it. And I'm definitely thinking of making some little investments in gold, just trying to dollar cost average it, for example. But we can also drop a little bit of a volume profile here, for example, like that. And you can see the bulk of the volume was accumulated right down there. So I think like 38 to 37 can potentially be a very strong support level, for example, for institutions to again start launching the orders back up. Okay, so can we create a little bit more of a deeper pullback? I do think so. We're getting very close to the daily EMA, so if we tap the daily EMA on gold, that means that a pullback was definitely successful, because you can see like a lot of times that it taps it's usually being respected in the past. But taking into account that absolutely crazy massive drop, of course, it is pulling back way deeper because the distance between the high and the EMA is pretty big. Now, if we zoom in on the daily time frame here, we are having that daily bearish imbalance, but the market is just playing with that daily bearish imbalance for a few days right now. Like Wednesday we came in, then we gapped down, we came in again on Thursday, and then Friday kind of trying to sell off from here. But I do believe one more drop lower is potentially possible, okay, towards that low into the EMA, and then maybe if we get into that monthly imbalance, I'm definitely gonna buy some gold. Okay, so let's see. Dropping onto the 4-hourly time frame, the market has been extremely tricky this week. Okay, apart from Monday. Where is Monday? This is Monday. Apart from Monday, so Monday was literally flushing towards that liquidity. Extremely easy trade. All of my community members took that one. I should actually go and show you. Let me show you. There it is, right? So we have Yatani here, 2-hour TP on gold. We have Yasin here, 1.6-hour TP on gold. We have Bartman, we have Ivan here, 1.5-hour on gold. There was Mihai as well, who didn't share the trade. There was a gold from long. Why would he take a long? But that was on the next day. There is Hamza as well, TP hit on two winners here, right? And then another win here and another break even to end up the week. So yeah, basically it was not a bad week, but only Monday provided a very nice short, and there were a lot more traders that didn't actually journal their trades, because what I'm showing you here is the people that want to journal, right? Some of them don't want to, but we are right now again, it's still into that daily imbalance, but I don't like this daily imbalance anymore, because we tapped it once, reacted, then again we come in twice. Like, why would we do that? Well, we came in to sweep the liquidity here, okay, and we also tapped into the daily EMA. All right, so what it's currently doing is being a little bit uncertain right now. So every single market is going to enter into a period like this. We call this like accumulation or distribution periods, where it's kind of starting to dabble, like, okay, so where do I go next? And if I go zoom in on the 4-hourly time frame, there is nothing I can read right now. There is no 4-hourly bullish imbalance and there is no 4-hourly bearish imbalance. This to me looks like a push pullback for the market to maybe break out. Okay, that can definitely happen. So if the market breaks above that level here, then we could potentially start resuming the longs, and then we're going to be looking to target, for example, all the liquidity levels to the left. But if we pop lower, okay, with a 4-hourly bearish imbalance, and we truly start seeing the bearishness, then I would be targeting, for example, this can be liquidity number 1, and then liquidity number 2, and then let's see if we're gonna flush just a little bit more into the monthly imbalance at around 3,800, which is a really nice level. Okay, so that is honestly gold, everybody. Like, no zones to work with. We still have that daily. We still see that it's kind of being respected here as a resistance level. What we really need to see right now, because it was very choppy here the last kind of 3 days, it didn't really pick any direction. It feels like right now, if you just zoom out a little bit, okay, usually after a trend or after something, right, the market tends to stabilize a little bit. All right, tends to stabilize always, right? It always does a little bit of a stabilization, if I can call it that, before it makes a move. But again, which move is it gonna do? Well, I don't know, because I also think we can pull back a little bit further. But of course, if investors immediately get back a lot more positive and they start putting back their money into gold and buying it more, maybe institutions are ending up with a profit taking right now, we can potentially resume. So break a structure above that one, break above the EMA here in the quality time frame, we can look to go long. Bearish breaks of structure here with quality bearish imbalances, we can look to go short. Okay, so that is go right now. No specific scenarios, simply because price action is literally not telling me right now what it wants to do. Okay, so let's see, monitoring it very carefully, and hopefully it's going to give us some good setups for the first week of November. USD JPY has been very bullish. You can see the monthly candle absolutely ripping right now, breaking structure. We are tapping into this monthly reaction area right now, but are we really paying any attention to it? Are we really responding from it? Well, we kind of already did. So if you take that monthly reaction area and you go to the weekly, you can see it came in here, reacted, consolidated for a week, and then this week showed us that, okay, I'm not really gonna reverse from here, and right now we are pretty much breaking above that swing point with this weekly candle. And then where could be the next target? Like, I don't see any swing points here. Like in terms of the weekly, it can all be all the way up there. Now this one is a very big forecast, so I'm not going to be doing that, but it just definitely looks more bullish than it looks bearish. Okay, so my bias is going to be a little bit cleaner. Now again, we pull back, make a massive higher low formation here. This is why you always have to be zoomed out a little bit on the macro side of things, and just ask like a very simple question, like, what is this market doing? Like, since here it's just been making higher lows, here consolidate, very choppy period, then again broke, retest, higher low, push, pull back, higher low, right? And then just right now making higher lows and higher highs. Very simple. I'm not gonna go and like start dropping like all of these breaks of structures and trend changes. No, just zoom out. What's the average kind of price? It's going up. And this is why I kind of added an EMA into my trading plan, is because it kind of gives me the average structure, right? So you can see here it was average on average bullish, and then the market kind of started shifting a little bit bearish. But then as soon as it broke below the EMA here, for example, that is when I truly see, okay, sellers are starting to kick in. We're starting to see, for example, the lower highs forming, short, right? Then potentially short here, although we faked that out a little bit. And then here, for example, it started again creating that stabilization here. EMA got flat, broke above it. Okay, now what we're doing, we're making higher lows. Well, better my bias be longs. Okay, as simple as that. So right now we zoom in and we have a wow, this is a really nice zone. So why is that such a nice zone? Is because we're having a very strong break of structure with a daily bullish imbalance aligned with that break of structure. On the quality time frame, it is pretty choppy, so we don't have any zone on the quality time frame. So I would say a absolutely textbook setup would be this, right? Textbook, like that. Now, of course, when a setup looks way too textbook, from my experience, it tends not to work out, or something completely different ends up happening. So can the market just expand? It absolutely could. Can it fail that daily imbalance? It absolutely could. Okay, so always have your daily liquidity level. So if that daily imbalance fails and if the market starts giving us the bearishness, then of course go for the liquidity. But if it really goes higher, I think it could be a really good setup. Okay, a really nice long setup here, for example, on that Fowley bullish imbalance. It was a really nice swing trade. You can see on the Fowley, again, like you have a drop, the market stabilizes a little bit, oscillates around the EMA, breaks above it, introduces your Fowley bullish imbalance. You have your target right there, taps in, and then just boom, right? Absolutely expanded during Asia though. Okay, so that is USD JPY. I'm definitely long bias on that one. Just looking to see how it's going to pull back into that daily. Is it going to give me my entry model? And if that daily starts failing, well, guess what? I'm going to short it into the opposing side of the liquidity, because I don't care about scenarios. I don't care about outlooks and forecasts. All I care about is what the market is going to do when it opens, and if I can flow with it and make some money. Okay, so that is UJ. Hey Fanatics, if you're looking to get into futures in 2026, which you definitely should if you're still trading Forex, or you're looking to scale with another amazing prop firm, check out propshoptrader.com. I've partnered up with them because I know the owner, I've worked for him, and I know he stands for honesty, transparency, and really helping the trading community. So basically within the futures prop firms, you're getting two different types of accounts. You have the evaluation account, where similar to the CFD space, you gotta pass a challenge. And then you also have the instantly funded account, which you just pay and you straight go for a payout. With PropShop Trader, you can get 5 accounts out of these. And also what is amazing with them is that you can choose between intraday and also trailing drawdown, which for a lot of traders has been a problem. Now, Very legit prop firm. They have already paid 3.5 million. Okay, and they also have proof in their Discord. They're actually posting proof of them sharing the payouts. Now, I personally prefer the Gladiator because if you're already profitable, you don't have to waste time doing challenges, okay? So, of course, you want to start with the Instant Gladiator, and currently they have a 70% off on both Warriors and Gladiators, okay? And I promise you, you are never gonna find a better deal out there with also very good rules. I choose the Gladiator, okay? And you can see if you use code Spooky or code Trading Fanatic if you want to support me as well. You're going to get a 50K account for $164. You cannot get this anywhere else. Instantly funded account. You just start trading it and you can make a payout within a couple of weeks. They just require like 6 trading days minimum. Okay, so and you also need to generate a profit threshold and you're done. Okay, and you can also get a bundle of 3 accounts to scale up to 115 capital, and you're also gonna get a free trade copier, and you can also get a bundle of 5. Okay, now even if you want to do a 100K account or 250K account, you are not gonna get such prices within the CFD space. And not to say the CFDs, you gotta pass like two phases and this and that, and you kind of waste 2 months going through the challenge. Okay, futures is the way, and I believe Prop Shop Trader is currently the best offering out there. Okay, and of course, if you the other amazing thing that they have for their evaluation accounts, okay, with code Trading Fanatic right now, you are going to get no activation fee, because I've been trading with, for example, another prop firm, and I pay $50, for example, for my subscription, and then when I pass the account, I gotta pay another 140. So my expense for that challenge becomes $200. Well, I better get a Gladiator with Prop Shop Trader for less than that, or if I want to do an evaluation here, they have no activation fee. So your 50K account is like $47. Okay, and when you pass it, you don't pay anything. You just continue and you're transferred then into a Gladiator, which is basically their funded account. Okay, so make sure to use that Halloween discount code. Okay, it's Trading Fanatic for me, or Spooky if you want to, because it's giving amazing deals, and definitely recommend that prop firm. So check it out. Link will be in the description. All right, time to have a look at futures. Now, if you also know, I have been trading futures pretty much. I started doing it this year around January, and so far I've been doing good. So if I just very quickly go here to show you my overall stats on these accounts that I have, this is my result for that month. Not extremely happy with it, but I'm pretty fine with it. I kind of try to make around 1.5K to 2K a month, right? I think it's a pretty good return if you take a payout on that one. October profitable, September also profitable. You can see around 1.5. Here a little bit less. Here June was a losing month because I was traveling. So see, I over traded here on the very last day. Why would you do that, bro? And then May was good as well, and then April was also good, and then March here I was a pretty big beginner, so don't look at that way too much here. But yeah, overall, so far so good. It's definitely going good. Strategy is coming together, so I plan to go a lot bigger on futures, and this is why I've kind of partnered up with a prop firm as well, Prop Shop Trader. Make sure to check them, of course, in the description. I'm already gonna talk about them. But yeah, so happy with this month. Overall, very nice bullish month. I also did make a lot of profits on my investments as well, because I do invest a lot also on the side. I kind of plan to speak more about it as well, because yeah, I've been running out of content ideas. It kind of feels like everything is already out there in terms of technicals. I tried to do some trade breakdowns, but I see like they're not getting a lot of views. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. Maybe you guys let me know. But let's have a look at the overall technicals. So we have been pushing very crazily, going higher. We are absolutely crazily bullish right now. The market is extremely positive, AI bubble, but it just keeps going higher and higher and higher. I don't think it's like a bubble. It's just like, yeah, people are very positive about these developments. It's making people a lot more productive. A lot of companies are investing in that as well, and they're posting really good earnings as well. So like a bubble would be when the perception is that, okay, this is going to be really good, but when reality is not, then the market is going to drop like crazy when it faces reality. But right now, all of these tech companies are just posting some massive earnings, right? Google, Amazon, Microsoft, all of them are just making some crazy all-time highs. So to me, not entirely a bubble, so I keep with my long bias. Weekly bullish imbalance created on ES this week, very choppy. I didn't find a single trade this week, by the way. So I would be looking for a potential pullback here, maybe even pull back into this order block here, that massive sell-off before the very big buy. I do feel like, for example, there is going to be a lot of volume accumulated within that area. Like if you maybe try to see it like that, you can see the bulk of the volume is within this kind of 67, 76 level. So this is somewhere where, like around, for example, this is your value area high. From this line to that line is where like I would be definitely looking for a support for the market to come back, right, where it accumulated, and then to launch the orders back up again. This was a really good buy, by the way, on the S&P. Did I buy S&P this month? I don't think so. Like, why didn't I buy from a daily EMA here? I'm dumb. Taps, 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 very big chop. Continuation right now. So can we come back a little bit lower? We could, but currently it is yeah, I could take, for example, that daily bullish imbalance. There is also a little bit of a gap here. We tapped in, kind of reacted a little bit, and then Friday didn't do shit. So currently it is going to be, once again, everybody, extremely hard to say where the market is going to go. And if you watch like the two outlooks that I did on my futures strategy, it's I don't do that much of a top-down analysis here. I'm showing up around 10 a.m. Eastern, and I'm just trying to capitalize like 1 to 2 hours of price action. That's it. So for this type of approach, you don't necessarily need to be like, okay, it's going to go here, it's going to go there. No, you just show up and see who takes control, okay, and where the momentum is going to guide you. And when there is no momentum, like it was, for example, this week, right, trading throughout this, right, trading throughout this here, trading here, right, this, right, no momentum whatsoever. It kind of made some pops after the trading hours, but again, this is not tradable for me, so nothing much I can say. We're tapping into the forward EMA here. Now we came into sweep, a little bit of liquidity on Friday, reacted, no forwardly bearish imbalances, no bullish. I would really love for the market to pull back into that weekly zone a little bit lower, and again to potentially come to rebalance. Like if I take a very big area like that, okay, I would like to see this kind of rebalance towards 25% of that zone, a little bit lower. Now again, if you, for example, take that that volume profile tool and let's, for example, make it like that, yeah, you can see like the average, kind of the most volume was transacted right here. So to me, this sort of level looks really good. Now you can draw that. I'm kind of practicing it because I've been dabbling with volume a lot. You can take it also on the bullish push, so from low to high, like that. And again, you can see like this is where like really the majority of the volume was accumulated. So this is usually a really good pullback area right here. So anywhere like within that weekly imbalance tap to a little bit lower, let's say within this sell to buy, I would definitely be looking for buys to resume the potential uptrend. But hey, who knows, maybe the market decides it's gonna crash and it starts crashing lower. Okay, so that is ES, nothing much to say, no zones. This is pretty much my overall expectation. I would like to, let me delete that. I would like for the market to pull me back into these sort of levels here, 68, 67, 60-ish, okay? And then from there, I would be looking for some potential longs. So let's see how it's gonna play out. Well, Nasdaq pretty similar to ES, extremely bullish monthly candle on the weekly time frame. We're also getting that weekly bullish imbalance. That is going to be a very nice pullback area potentially. Daily time frame is a lot stronger actually because you see massive bullish, 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 right? And we're still kind of encountering all of these daily bullish imbalances. Like we have a lot of imbalances here, and we also have this gap right there. So this gap to me is a really important place to go to fill that gap because it's relatively big. So I definitely would like, but again, it's not about what I like, but about what is actually going to happen. You can pretty much also drop a little bit of a volume profile here to see like, okay, from the lowest low here to the highest high. Did I draw that correctly? Let me just enlarge it a little bit. Yeah, you can see kind of within this area, this sort of support level here. This is where I would have essentially liked to see eventually for an indices to pull back into because they've made a massive high, but I wouldn't really be surprised if they just resume the overall uptrend. Now this one tapped into the daily, reacted, but it's failing. It's slowly starting to kind of show a little bit of a bearish, but it's not really here yet. No, we made a low, lower high. There is not even a lower low yet. There is no break of the fall EMA. There is no break of structure here. So it's still absolutely bullish, okay? And even if it gives us a first sign of turning bearish, then it's going to tap the gap. It's going to tap the weekly imbalance. It is going to tap pretty much the older volumes right there, which are kind of resting just within here. Like what I do with my investments is I tend to put like support lines like that, Okay, so if we kind of come towards these sort of levels, I would absolutely be looking to buy a lot more stocks. But for the short term, again, everybody, like, I don't know. So I would say this is a really good target down there. I can call a pullback, but that is going to be a wrong thing to do, because on an instrument that is designed to go up and that is designed to keep making new all-time highs, that we should be only focused on buys, that doesn't make any sense to say, okay, we're going to go down right now. But anyway, if it does go down and if it kind of pulls back into the gap, into the weekly imbalance, I would immediately start looking for the market to once again reposition itself and to start trending higher. You can right now see it is perfectly normal. We absolutely expanded like crazy. It is okay to kind of stabilize and chop a little bit. Okay, there could be maybe a little bit of a manipulation and then potentially to go up, something like that, right? I would like to see like a macro spike into these levels, and then from there we can offload the volume, right? Chop, 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 macro spike, the chop, chop, macro spike, right? And then it just resumes. So this is something that I'm looking for based again on patterns, on the higher time frame patterns. But again, for my intraday trading, I don't care much about these things, right? I just show up. Is there momentum after 10 a.m.? No, no trading. Yes, let's see if I can capitalize on some very quick trades. So that is NASDAQ, looking for pullbacks into these sort of areas. Let's cover US30 real quick. Now this is the weakest kind of index, but still it's making all-time highs, which is good. Weekly time frame also pretty similar here. It has a weekly bullish imbalance. Okay, sure, but yeah, it's gonna be exactly the same as the rest here. It also has the daily imbalance with the gap. Now the gap here is filled, so fully filled. Okay. Is it going to pull back into the weekly? Let's see. It had 5 extremely choppy days here. So dropping onto the forward time frame, very choppy, but tapped into the forward EMA. Let's see. Like I don't trade US30 at all. The YM at all, right? So I don't know, but it usually tends to move with the rest. It tends to be a lot slower than the rest. This is for a fact, I know. If you pull back into that weekly here, and then for example we get some longs, that would be great. But again, US30. Not sure. We can of course look to draw a little bit of a profile. Oh no, that would be wrong, because then we see like that. I want to see, yeah, the volumes here you can see are a little bit lower, for example, towards this level. So if the market is going to be making a correction right now, which I'm not sure if it makes sense, but it definitely could do, we can be pulling back into these kind of points of controls and value areas. But for now, again, just keep the long bias. I'm mainly looking to see like NASDAQ and ES to give me a little bit of a pullback and to resume the buying. Wow, the DAX index looks absolutely crazy. Some lightsaber Star Wars candles right there on the monthly time frame. Crazy. We came into sweep all-time highs this month, and then we rejected from it. Yeah, so we swept it, then we came into the weekly bullish imbalance. The market tries to push, but it's failing this week. Yeah, came in deeper, reacted. Okay, so wow, this is a very choppy price action here on DAX. If there are any DAX traders, you're probably finding it hard here. No daily imbalances whatsoever, or if there is one here, it failed. Liquidity is here, that is taken. Can we go all the way down there? We could. Forward time frame, very sloppy price action, kind of gapped up, chop. A little bit of a move right there, made its way lower. Currently we have this guy, but to me, when I start analyzing a pair, and if like the hard time frames are looking go crazy, it's usually going to be a bad pair to be trading. Like if you zoom out a little bit and see like what kind of thing you're trading right now, it is a massive consolidation. So I don't know, can I say that I'm short biased? Sure. Okay, so this I can say, but I'm really not sure, because I'm not trading DAX at all. And just judging by the overall hard time frames right here, like that move up towards all-time highs, that was great. Okay, we accumulated, broke above the EMA. There's your first retest, massive run, all-time high completed. Right now the EMA is flat again. In fact, it's pointing lower, so I can say short bias, but this is gonna go all the way towards that low. Well, let's see if it pushes lower with forwardly bearish imbalances. You can potentially look for it, but yeah, don't listen too much to me about DAX, because I've never traded it. Just look at it. I might actually stop looking at it, because I'm not sure It's pretty choppy, and I'm not sure if any of you guys are even watching that one. Let me know if you're trading DAX and if you're having success in this sort of price action. But that's it. I would say I'm more bearish, but the whole thing here is pretty chopped up, so I would be very careful. All right, fanatics, let's have a little bit of a recap. So the DXY for me right now, it's very bullish. I really like, for example, right now shorting EU and GU. I think it's a good opportunity. Now we have daily bullish imbalance on the DXY and also hourly bullish. Now the key question is which one is going to get respected and how far is it going to pull back before we get, for example, another long. EU is the same, taking a lot of liquidity right now, so not a great positioning. But if we do throw a little bit of a pullback and if we resume the selling pressure, it can potentially be very nice. GBP USD, I definitely like it. However, here we're in a pretty bad position. We're having a monthly bullish imbalance, monthly liquidity being taken, massive lower low on the daily. So I don't think it's a great position. So I would wait to see a deeper pullback or a weekly bearish imbalance. Aussie dollar, not the greatest, very stuck, choppy, showing some bearishness, but coming into bullish zones. I don't like it. If you're looking to trade an Asian pair like that, do NZUSD. NZUSD is already flushing very nicely. It's reacting from a weekly bearish imbalance. It has a daily bearish imbalance to pull back into, and even hourly and clear liquidity targets with a very nice flat price action here. Gold is very 50-50 right now. It is accumulating or distributing for a move down or for a move up. So I would be looking literally for signs about where it wants to go. I definitely want to see it at 38. I think 38 is a really good number. We have the monthly zone just below us. Okay, and because this weekly zone here is failing to cause price to push up, I think that can potentially become weak and take us into some of these support levels, attacking this low here, tapping into the monthly, and then maybe from there we can resume the uptrend. But for now, we don't know. USD JPY is looking like a really good long, daily bullish imbalance here. Let's see if it pulls back and if it continues to give us the longs. EJ and GJ I don't look anymore because they're way too choppy. And the indices, they are making a little bit of a pullback this week. Now, are they going to resume the uptrend? Likely. We're having a lot of positive earnings right now, so that is definitely driving the market higher. But I have specific pullback levels here. We have a weekly bullish imbalance on ES and a weekly bullish imbalance on Nasdaq. I definitely would love to see the market pull back into these zones. Okay, it's gonna be really nice because we're having a lot of volume accumulation areas here, very strong support levels here as well. Like this whole area here is a very strong support. So I would kind of really love to see 6,800 on this one on ES and also 3,800 on gold. Like because I mainly trade these two, I kind of know the levels and they both ended 800. So we'll see if we get a little bit of a dip, but if it resumes to go higher, of course, always be open for the all-time highs. Nasdaq exactly the same. US 30 also kind of pretty similar, but that one is pretty choppy. And DAX as well, also rather chopped up here across everything. I would say I'm a little bit more bearish on that one, but not entirely sure. So everybody, I hope you perform well this month. I hope you're happy with your performance. If you're not, sit down right now, reflect why you're not happy, what you can do better, and let's get ready for a brand new month. November, that is kind of going to be the last real good trading month of the year, because when December comes in, you're pretty much gonna have like two weeks of trading, and then we're gonna be getting on Christmas already. Goddamn, this year passed. So hope you're doing good. Let me know how you're doing in the comments, and I'm gonna talk to you in the next outlook.